I saw The Exorcist Believer this week, and I have not seen the original Exorcist. Shocking, I know. It's such an iconic film. You would think I should have seen it, but I have absorbed a lot of it just through pop cultural osmosis. I don't even know why I need to worry about demonetization, but there's certain lines that if I say them and I had monetization would definitely get this video demonetized. But your mother bleep bleeps in hell. But yeah, this movie is a reboot, basically. Now, if you've seen the trailers for it, the trailers very prominently feature the character of Chris McNeil, who was the mother of the possessed child from the first movie. And the trailers would have you believe that Chris McNeil is like one of the main characters of the film. She is absolutely not. Basically, everything that she does in the film is shown in the trailers. She is a glorified cameo. If you cut all of her scenes out, the movie would play out exactly the same. She is just there to give like connective tissue to be like, oh, this is the, we're rebooting the franchise, but here's the character from the original to give us the blessing so that we all know it's the same franchise, right? I don't think the movie needed it. I don't really think it helped it. Again, I don't have a connection to the original film, so like, I don't care about her character prior to going into this, other than knowing that she was in the first one. And it really just felt like she's here as a marketing gimmick. The actual main character of the film is played by Leslie Odom Jr., who played Aaron Burr in Hamilton. And he is a single dad who is, I think, the title Believer, I think that's referring specifically to him, because he is a skeptic. He doesn't believe in gods or the supernatural, basically up until his daughter starts exhibiting supernatural abilities as part of the possession, and then he kind of has to accept something's going on. But the film, I think, is going out of its way to try and reject the notion that like the Catholic Church has like the authoritative stance on exorcisms. Like there's even a point where a Catholic priest has been ordered by the church not to get involved in this exorcism. They think, just refer the kids to psychiatric counseling, and then the priest decides to disregard the orders of his diocese and help out with the exorcism. And it's played up initially like, oh, here comes the hero to save the day, and he absolutely does not save the day. And it felt like it was a complete rejection of, no, the Catholic Church doesn't actually have all the answers here. And the way that they do the exorcism, it seems like intentionally very multicultural. Like there's hints of like Haitian voodoo and other cultural practices. And they even talk about how different cultures who have dealt with possession and exorcisms that aren't necessarily from, a Christian perspective. The one thing that all of the successful things had in common was people working together in community. And that is basically ultimately, what saves the daughter, right? Is her dad finding, direct connection with her through his dead wife, her mother that she never actually got to meet. But I felt like the film was like that was the goal that they were going for, but like it kind of got a little muddied by everything. And I also have to say that having the Catholic priest show up at the exorcism being treated as like some big triumphant moment is a little weird, because if you see in the trailers, that there's two girls who are possessed, and the parents of the other girl, they're side characters. Leslie Odom Jr. is the main character of this film, but they attend they're not Catholic, but they attend an Anabaptist congregation. I don't know exactly what denomination they are, but they're a denomination. Actually, they might be Baptist. Is it Baptists that don't do whatever they are? They're one of the denominations that doesn't do child baptisms. They have to wait until kids are of age to make their own consent on it. And their pastor is there. Their pastor is at the exorcism, and I'm just like, well, what are you doing? Like you're a pastor too, and you're just like here like, oh good, the Catholic's here. I'm like, dude, you're a Protestant. You don't accept the authority of the Catholic Church. But yeah, Lucky Otter says woke the Exorcist. It kind of, yeah. I do appreciate the rejection of the authority of the Catholic Church, because as somebody who's certainly had an edgy Reddit atheist phase, I have my distaste for the Catholic Church, and I don't really appreciate its kind of like cultural hegemonic status in a lot of these kinds of media. particularly demon possession films. It basically seems like the Catholic Church is the default, and it really kind of feels like the Exorcist, the original Exorcist, is the reason for that. So as they're trying to do a reboot on this, maybe that's what they're going for. Now, I would not put a lot of stock in them getting a sequel to this because the movie has been not performing well at the box office, and in fact, they are releasing it to digital purchase in like 2 weeks. So like it's been out in theaters not even a full week, and they already announced, oh yeah, no, it'll be available on digital on October 24th. That does not bode well for the film. Now, part of that might also be that they want it ready for home media consumption on Halloween, so that people who are having Halloween parties can watch it. So from that perspective, it makes sense. But the fact that it literally just came out, and then 3 weeks after it comes out, it'll be available for purchase on home media, it should say something about its dismal box office performance. Lucky Otter says, is it horror? Yeah, it's horror. It's a horror movie. I mean, it's a couple of girls who get possessed by demons and all of the demony possession things that they can do, like, vomiting blood everywhere. That seems to be like the big thing these days, is vomiting blood. I think in the original Exorcist, didn't she vomit like pea soup or something? And nowadays, everything's vomiting blood. I walked out of this one going, that was a film that exists, but it didn't really impress me that much. One thing that did impress me though is Ann Dowd. You've probably seen her on The Handmaid's Tale. She played Aunt Lydia. She was in Hereditary. She's in this film. She plays a neighbor of the main characters who's also a nurse, and she had tried to become a nun, but then stopped right before. So she kind of is there as like the down to earth but like spiritual advisor who has all of the wise things to say about the nature of good and evil. It's kind of a stock character, but Ann Dowd plays that stuff really well. I think she's a really good actress. I really liked her in Hereditary, where she played the kindly seeming but then ultimately sinister leader of the cult. I like her in this one, even though she, like I said, she's kind of a generic stock character. I think she's a really strong character actor who plays that stuff really well. And so I want to see her in more horror movies. I want to see her do all of the expository dialogue and explaining about the nature of good and evil in all of these movies. I think she could just, that could be a solid career for her in the future, is just doing that. Some of those lines are in the trailer and you can see it, and it's good. I like Ann Dowd in it. Leslie Odom Jr., this isn't the strongest performance of his career. I really liked him in Hamilton. In this one, I think he was all right, but it could also just be he didn't have the material to work with. Scientethful says, I can vomit blood without demons. That's boring. Anyway, Exorcist Believer, I don't believe they will be getting a second one of these. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm trying to get my channel monetized, so your view means a lot. Don't forget to toss me a like and subscribe and ring the bell. I stream every Monday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, so catch me live and join in on the convo. You can find all my socials in the description below, and thank you to all my patrons, with a very special shout out to my Whale Shark tier patron Ryan D and my Anemone Friend tier patron Piftle Cakes. Your support means the world. Catch you next time.